Starburns Audio.
Thank you for listening to the Starburns Audio Podcast Network. We have so many great comedy shows to add to your playlist. Just last week on Starburns Audio, on the Season 2 premiere of Humans Who Make Games, Adam Conover talks to comedian Ron Funches and Jean Goudon, creative director of the Assassin's Creed series. On Boogie Monster, Kyle Kinane and Dave Stone share a perfect recipe for the quarantined cook. This week on Profiles and Eccentricity, they cover the history of the Khorasan Unity cult, folks for whom a flat earth is ridiculous because they believe it's really a concave shell. Search Starburns Audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast platform for our full list of shows, featuring hosts like Joe Coy, Amanda Seals, Jessica Chobot, and Jackie Johnson. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Starburns Audio. Enjoy the show. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep laughing.
It's a good show.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. Bender, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits, the funny hits, and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies. Welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population you?
Population Posehn.
Brian Posehn. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, fellas. Thanks for having me.
It's so good to have you, to get a little Posehn in the membrane. I love it. And you're somebody who we've known in the comedy world for a very long time and been fans of for a very long time.
And in real world outside.
And in real world.
Life outside of it.
Yeah.
Season 9 of Real World, too.
See, we were all in the real world.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, Real World
I was
Tulsa.
the Miz. Oh, wait, no.
Our sons are the same age. We've hung out at a pumpkin patch before.
We sure have.
But I do think you are uniquely armed to be able to do well on this podcast, which it is. And we talked about this right before we clicked on the mics. The world is getting dumber.
Oh, yeah.
It is just we are.
You said we're heading towards idiocracy.
Heading towards? Right in the fucking middle, I would say.
We're right into Act 2.
So the beauty is that our awesome townies from all over the place send us these great stories, and then we get into them. And I know Daniel Van Kirk, who, oh my God, Dan's here.
Dan's here. What's Dan doing?
Wasn't that a fun tweet?
Yeah, someone tweeted us that, like, I love how surprised the Sklars always are that when they introduce Dan, like, oh my, wait, Dan, you're here too?
They were like,
The person who
They're like,
drives
it's his
this
show.
podcast?
it was so funny. I
right,
called that
Dan.
guy a P1 listener. For anybody who doesn't know, that's preset 1 on the radio, on your car radio.
Preset
P1.
one.
P1
Get it in
listener.
there.
One listener.
Well, thank you
P1.
for that. Daniel, you get great stories sent to you. I want to jump into one
Okay.
right away. We're not even 2 minutes in, and I want to jump in.
Let's do it. This was sent in by Kim Fritz at Kimberly Fritz.
Kim Fritz and her mom are two of the best comedy fans ever.
They come from Pittsburgh. They'll go like,
She's been with
do you
us
have
from the
fans
jump.
like that, Ryan?
Yeah,
that come and
for
just,
sure.
they're like, I drove 7 hours to see you in
One
here.
dude. No. A handful
really
of
great.
hardcores
One
like
guy
that.
in a
Yeah,
Slayer shirt.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. The same shirt every time I've seen him.
Has not been washed once.
Yeah.
But he's so
Sign it
excited.
again. Will you sign it again?
You want me to sign over where I signed it?
Yeah,
before?
sign over where you signed
man.
it.
Kim Fritz is awesome. We love
She's
her.
amazing. I love that she sent this in.
All right, here we go. An archer man, Alachua?
I'm not sure. At first I thought you were saying an
Archer man, like someone who just goes with a bow and
Yeah,
arrow.
Dumb
or-
People Town, that is highly possible and probable.
People walking around with bows and arrows trying to kill
An archer
themselves.
man, deputies say, swiped Slim Jim snacks from a convenience store, was charged with petty theft, criminal mischief, and aggravated assault. Records show. Before we get into this, let's just see how you guys are feeling today. What is the dollar value of the amount of Slim Jims that he stole from a convenience store?
So we start with a game.
So let me ask you, but when was the last time you had a Slim Jim?
Oh, probably last week.
Oh, really?
I like beef jerky products.
So do I.
I'm a road comic too. I'm on the road, and I'm
Get on the road, man.
I'm eating like shit.
You're like, there's protein in this,
yeah,
right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the fancier one that?
There's like the
fancier brand that
Oberto,
said,
like those,
or the other
jerkies.
one that's at the airport all the time.
Jack's.
Yes,
Jack's,
Jack
yeah.
Jack Links.
Jack
I've had
Links.
those.
More
but
Jack Link than.
I don't think I've had a Slim Jim since like the Monday Nitro WCW.
It might be a little while for an actual Slim Jim.
Slim Jims have like a bizarre, like greasy coating
Well, see, that's
on
the
it.
thing. That Jack's jerky looks like they had a hunk of meat and they cut it up.
Right.
But the cylindrical fact of it makes me feel a little too.
You put your
like,
hands just on a Slim Jim and then accidentally put them on your jeans. You'll never get that off, no matter how much OxyClean you put on
And
them.
they're in that tight package. It feels like they grease it up to put it in the package.
So that you can squeeze it to pop it out.
When you buy Slim Jim, do you think they ask you what kind of Mountain Dew you wanted?
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't get your Mountain Dew yet.
Yeah, you get a Code Red with that, and you're like, wait, I get a Code Red free? No, you're just supposed to go get a Code Red and have one of those.
That's hilarious. All right, so we're going to try and guess how much money, what was the monetary value on the steal? Do you want to go first, second, or third in this lineup?
Wherever you
You
want
can
me to
pick.
go.
You're the guest.
You're the guest, dude.
I'll go first.
Okay, how much money do you think he swiped?
$600.
$600 worth of Slim Jims. There's no way. Did he swipe some stock in Slim Jim as well?
He actually stole
the whole.
He stole Macho Man Randy Savage.
He stole Randy Savage's bones. The whole rack. What do you say, Rand? I think he stole probably about $200 worth.
$200
worth of Slim Jim.
$78.
$78.
But here's the thing: like, if you ever see a display of Slim Jim, there's always like 800 of them in there.
Yeah, that's
there's
what I'm thinking.
so
He
many
took the
in there.
whole
So what do you say? You said 200. You said 600, and I say 78.
Jason says 78.
Okay.
Logan Tyndale. That's his name.
Logan Tyndale sounds like his
Logan!
his Tinder name.
Yeah, it does.
What's up, Tyndale?
Logan Tyndale also sounds like a character on any CW show.
All of them.
right now. Yeah,
One,
all of them.
One Tree Hill.
Logan Tyndale of Southwest 89th Avenue in Archer. Add that to the DPT walking tour.
Yep.
Went to the Chevron station at 12210 Southwest Archer Road Monday. I'm guessing walked.
Yeah.
I just
he walked.
I feel like he walked.
He walked.
Anybody who's walking up to a gas station.
That's
You
the
know
moment
that-
where we're like, if they're not coming from a car and they're just emerging from the street, there'll be trouble.
Brian, I am so happy that you were in Dumb People Town with us because he walked into the Chevron and took the entire Slim Jim display.
Logan's my man.
Logan knows.
Contained about 40 Slim Jim for a total value of $48.
So you were right and
I
Jason
was
was
right.
Right, so they're literally
The disparity.
40 for
So this
$48. So what's that, like $1.02?
$1.02 per Slim Jim.
Somewhere that's close to the math, right?
It's like
It's something to me. I feel like that's still you're charging too much. a Slim Jim.
$25.25. Maybe that's how that works out.
$1.10. I don't know. It's
Amazing.
That's insane.
In doing so, he also broke the $150 display. So, if you're keeping track at home, the display worth way more
So
than
then
the amount
I
of
think I
Slim
was
Jims.
right because
You
if
were
he took
two-
the
that's
whole thing, it's
$198.
$198 and I had $200.
Here's what I love. At no point until it's too late, and we'll get there, do they decide we should involve the cops, which makes Dumb People Town what it is.
Which is like the people at the gas station are part of the dumb people as well.
And here they are.
Okay.
The next day, someone from the store, gas station, spoke to one of
It's not a store.
Wait. Next day.
Hey,
Yeah, already.
They let it happen.
What went down that night? Like
hey,
the manager's like, you're being held responsible. I'll get him.
those-
I'll get Logan. I'll see Logan down at the creek.
All right, well, if you do, could you tell him next time he comes in here, man?
Motherfucker, Logan, you did it again.
Let me handle this. We do it in our tribe.
You didn't think he was also like, you tell Logan too, I'm going to throw away his application. The next day,
I won't throw it away.
I won't throw it away. I'll
put
move
on
it to the bottom.
of the pile.
we already had a Logan, so name tag's printed, but still, I'm not.
He's in the pile, but he
Right.
went down.
To be
The next day, someone from the store spoke to one of Tyndale's friends and convinced and you know he goes by LT, and convinced him to return to the store. Hey, man.
Just get Logan back here.
Yeah. Kyle,
Get him here.
Kyle, just have Logan come back.
Doug's going to lose his job, motherfucker.
That is the conversation that Kyle had with Logan.
Okay, so now what's becoming
That's our
apparent...
spot, motherfucker.
Now
Ruined it.
what's becoming apparent is that all these guys know each other.
Yes.
So this is totally like, I can't rat out my friends because if I do call the cops, then that's
Yes.
what it is.
So the next day they sleep on this broken Slim Jim and all the Slim Jims stolen for a day. They sleep it off.
Which,
the
by the
next
way,
day,
do you know Jay and I both worked at gas stations
Yes,
in
we've
high school?
covered
We've
it.
covered this, but like...
I did that too.
You worked at a gas
Oh,
station as well?
yeah.
Full service gas station?
Yeah, I got ripped off one day.
Really?
Yeah,
Someone
I
came
went
in?
and used the bathroom, and then somebody came and took my whole till, and I had to call the sheriff, and the sheriff already hated me because he'd caught me for drinking before and stuff. But he saw how bummed I was and how real it was.
Right.
That he totally went. It wasn't a dick about it.
By
Like,
the way,
he came in and he's like, "Oh man, you," and I'm like, "Oh God, you."
you're like these guys, you
And then I told him,
motherfucker.
but he saw how upset, and I think I even had my own money taken. Like I had my wallet there, something dumb, and
By the
and
way,
so he just
thank
felt
God you
awful.
weren't there when it...
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? At least you
Wait,
were
what,
like...
did they get the guy or girl?
Nah, I don't think anybody ever got caught. No.
You know, what's
So
crazy about the gas station and what we learned by working there for a summer, we worked at each, like, we couldn't even work at the same gas station because they said, like, if I caught Jason stealing gas, I wouldn't report it, i.e. that blood is thicker than gas.
Right.
And so I was like, so we are at different ones. But the thing is, and I know you know this, the same people come around your gas station. So, like, regulars start to come.
Yeah, for sure.
So they might not be friends, but, like, they definitely, like,
Oh, yeah.
Logan is a regular.
People have their gas
Absolutely, yeah.
stations.
I told you when we worked at the gas station, all I did was Sprite. They're so dumb. Sprite had an under the cap, like win the under the cap prizes game,
Which was a free drink.
which oftentimes was a free Sprite. So I would just look. I'd spend hours at the gas station looking under the Sprite to see if there was a
You
winning.
want a free Sprite, and
I'd
just
undo
crack
the
it open
cap
and
and
eat
Did you
a
guys
Sprite.
also know everyone's cigarettes as they were walking?
yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Benson and Hedges menthol ultralight. Here she comes.
I had a
That's
woman
awesome.
who was a nurse who just always wanted like Eve 120s. Eve 120s.
Eve 120s. Can you still buy cartons of cigarettes, or it's just so expensive nobody does it anymore?
It's so expensive.
If you're rich, the 1%.
The 1% of getting them cartons.
No, but like you got to be so good. Like at the end of the summer, where I knew people would come in and buy like a Red Pack, Marlboro Red Pack, and I knew if it was going to be a box or a soft pack. That's how
Really?
good. That's when you're in the zone. Like here comes someone Marlboro Red, you're a box, right? Yep. Get it out the top and do it.
So these guys, you're right, they probably all know each other. The dude sleeps on this for a day, or woman, they don't really say, they just say victim, sleeps on it for a day. Then the next day, LT's friend comes in. Hey, LT really fucked me over here.
Right.
Like, okay?
Right.
They convinced him, spoke to one of Tyndale's friends and convinced him, Logan, to return to the store. So now Logan goes back
to the scene of the crime.
Gas station.
Yeah.
Dummy.
The victim told Logan if he would return the missing product and the display, he wouldn't call law enforcement.
We'll just keep this between us.
Right. They're trying to settle this like Amish style, where we don't involve anybody outside the gas station life.
Yeah. But literally giving him every chance to redeem himself.
Right.
Instead, you know there's an instead.
It's
course.
Tyndale. You know
Yeah.
he's not going to fly straight.
Yep.
Fucking Logan.
Instead, Logan waved a silver folding knife at the victim and then later threw his wristwatch at the victim. So he took his watch off,
Threw
and
it.
threw it at somebody,
Waved a knife.
waved a knife.
And then that, like a knife to me, if you take off your watch and throw it at someone, is going down from a knife.
Right. Right.
Like he didn't
Yeah,
go. He
did
didn't
go
bump it
down.
up a notch.
Right.
He actually took the.
No, you gave away one of your belongings.
He walked in and was like, Kyle said you wanted to see me.
Well, I just imagine him like snapping into a Slim Jim.
Oh, he comes
Just
in eating
eating a-
one.
eating
Hey,
a
man,
Slim
I told
Jim.
you to return it all.
Hang on a second.
That was yesterday,
Snap,
dude.
Snap.
I take my watch off to wrestle my son on the bed because I don't
Sure.
want to scratch him, but I don't know who does that in a fight. Like, I've never seen. Like,
Excuse me a second.
Hang on a second.
You want to take this outside? Let me take my watch off first.
I hope that.
Do you know what time it is? Time for me to take out my watch
Just
and
throw
then
it
kick
at
your
you.
ass.
And then it's time for me to kick her.
I'm just going to say.
And I'm asking you what time it is. I just threw my watch.
Linda runs the gas station. So he comes in and Kyle, he's like, Linda, Kyle said you wanted to see me. Yeah. if you return all the shit, we're not
We
gonna
won't
call
do
the cops.
anything, yeah.
Fuck you, Linda. Look at this knife. What are you gonna do with that? I'm gonna throw my watch at you. What are you gonna do with that knife? Throw my watch at you.
You didn't do anything.
Oh, it is a guy. Never mind. The victim and his brother chased Tyndale away and then called law enforcement.
So they wanted to give him chances. You crossed the as soon as you're throwing like accessories,
wristwatches.
yeah.
That crossed the line. For
Right. Also, don't you think the cops were like, whoa. When did this all start? This guy just came in. No. This goes back a day.
We tried to handle it with it. We tried to do it on our own and not call you.
Plus, and chasing away.
Yeah, chasing away a guy with a knife.
Scoot, get out of here.
Yeah, like he's a
go
cat.
now.
Yeah, like with a broom. Like they're trying to get a cat.
Don't be late for work tomorrow. Logan, I guess the cops caught him. This is not a great written article. Logan told the deputy he threw his watch at the victim, but wasn't sure if it even hit him.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like one of those guys who bowls and then just turns
Walks
around
away.
and doesn't see how it got. Like I always thought those
Super
people
cool,
were so
yeah.
cool.
That's a lot of
I'm like, this guy
confidence.
doesn't care.
But is he trying to in that moment like avoid battery with a weapon or whatever that is?
Yes,
like I
some
threw it
sort
and
of
I don't know if it hit
simple
him.
assault. But also, two things about the watch. I'm guessing it didn't work and he did not pay for it.
Both yes to
things are
both.
very
I mean,
true.
listen, does a swatch hurt when you get it thrown at you?
It bounces
Maybe
off
a
because
well-
the rubber guard.
Yeah,
The
there
rubber
you go.
guard, swatch guard.
So he told the
And
deputy.
he yelled at the guy, and you can have your watch back.
Wait, this was my watch?
Yeah, the whole time.
That's unbelievable. He stole everything
I
too.
know, I like that guy's watch. He said he wasn't sure if the watch even hit him. He also denied threatening the victim with a knife and said he only uses the knife to stop and start his ATV. If that is not the most dumb people town thing. Yeah, I had a knife on me, but dude, that's my car starter. Or ATV starter. in this
I
case.
need to stick it in and turn it.
To take a knife
my
and
fob.
stick it in an ATV. Like
What'd you say, Brian?
My fob or what?
Yeah, that's my phone.
Right, but that is like something that someone who works at a coffee shop in Silver Lake has never said in his
Ever.
life.
No.
Never.
I had a friend that
Not
could
once.
start their GMC Jimmy with anything, a screwdriver, a knife, a spoon, like not
It
big,
just
not
had
the
a-
Because
business
really,
end.
you're just turning it over,
Yeah, it
right?
was so stripped. The locking mechanism was so stripped. You could just put anything in there and turn
Turn
it.
it to the side.
Yeah,
That
it
works.
Good to show that to the public.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
But that is so. This is a guy who uses a knife to open up his ATM.
Right.
That's all he uses it for.
ATV.
That's all he
His
uses it for.
ATM.
His ATM.
It's the
ATM.
only
Maybe-
reason he even carries it.
I don't even want a knife on me, but I got to
No.
get around on my ATV.
How am
My
I gonna
license
get
is
around?
suspended.
Yeah.
He also said, yes, he took the Slim Jim display, but only as a joke.
Yeah.
That's a defense for any dumb
That
person,
is-
right? It was a joke, bro.
Look, I backed over his foot, and it was a joke.
It was a joke.
By the way, this sort of re-engineering of history and sort of assigning this is everything that is happening on the highest level in our country.
Oh, yeah, that was a joke. That was a joke.
Yeah,
Just
just
joking.
Can't you tell when I'm joking?
Right.
Follow what I do, not what I say,
and then
not
like-
what I tweet.
And it's like the person who like, I guess you don't have a sense of humor. You don't read jokes
Really?
anymore.
No,
we can't joke in this
Yeah.
country? I'm sorry. You know what? You're right. Arrest me for having a sense of humor.
I'm sorry I hit you. It was a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, boo.
So then the victim turned over security footage that he gave to the deputies in a sworn statement, which I imagine Logan be like, shit.
Yeah, let's see how that joke played out.
Logan Tyndale was in county jail Wednesday morning. Bond hadn't been set when they wrote this article, but I'm going to ask you guys,
right.
how old is Logan
Logan
Tyndale? Now, Brian, once again, you can go first, Tig, or third. Tig
is
is what
the
we
middle
call
slot.
second because she was the first person to
Now
choose
he
second.
starts his ATV with a knife, apparently.
Yes.
Loves Slim Jim.
Yes.
Had
Throws his watch
had
at
a
people.
watch, but didn't care about it. Like,
Right.
is of the age where he doesn't need his
Sent a
watch.
friend, or somehow a friend relayed to him, hey, go back in, and then had the balls to walk back into
in
the
there.
store.
That's
He's 38.
38 years old for Logan Tyndale. Randy or Jay?
I think he's 23.
23.
I just
from
don't
Randy
think he knows.
Sklar.
I think he just
I
knows.
think he's 19. I think he's even younger than 20.
19. 19 years old.
It's a wide array that we just threw.
I know. Logan Tyndale. And he has the brow of a person who will throw a watch at you because I'm going to spin this around and show it. Is 18 years old.
I knew it.
Look
I
at
knew
him.
it.
And
you know,
Logan is sort of a 20-year-old name, or it's a younger, the Logan Paul generation.
Do you think they gave him like a county jail shirt in his mugshot because he didn't have a shirt on when they got him?
He definitely was not wearing a shirt. This is a guy who
clearly.
Yeah.
Usually your mugshot. Look at his brow. Isn't that just an
He
angry
only wears
kid?
the shirt in the winter.
That is
the type of guy who's like, when he's wearing a shirt, it's like, God, it feels like it's strangling you.
that is the eighth child to a single mom. Like that. And I'm saying that. And I mean that in that she didn't doesn't know where.
She did the best she could do.
She
with
did
him.
so great. She did as great as she could with 6 or 7 of them.
Oh yeah, my mom did 3. There was a lot of stuff that fell through the cracks. We
A
just had
lot
this conversation. I was like,
yeah.
Mom, I almost did none of my work. She's like, I wanted you to do your schoolwork. I go, I know you did. You were also working every night. You couldn't. It'd be impossible for you to know.
There's no way to drive it home. There's no way to drive it home. I feel what I'm saying is like whoever took
this kid needs some attention.
Yes, that's all this kid wants.
Well, he's going to get some now.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get
the
some
county
now.
jail. All right, there you go. First story down in the books. Logan Tyndale goes down into
the Bobby Tisdale.
The fact that they wanted to handle it themselves and said we won't call the cops, and he responded with throwing a watch and using his keys as
what
a
is that? What is
threatening
that?
weapon.
Neighborhood justice? What do we even call that?
I know.
That's very tribal.
You know when they call the cops, they're like, first of all, officer, let me tell you, we tried to handle it, which is what you never want to hear as a cop.
Don't ever tell a cop that.
Yeah.
Look,
And they also know the cop by name. Dave, we talked to Logan.
Yes.
Hey, don't be pulling that shit you pulled in high school, Dave. Just listen to what I'm saying.
Listen, Dave.
18, by the way, old enough to vote. I just want to say
Old
that.
enough to vote.
Yes.
All right, that's one story. Let's take a break. When we come back, more with Brian Posehn on Dumb People Town right after this.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. We have Brian Posehn here.
One of our favorite stand-ups.
Yes, if you're in San Francisco in March, he's going to be at Cobb's Comedy Club. You can check all of his dates out on brianposehn.com.
Tell him how to spell your last name because it is somewhat tricky.
It's so hard.
Or look at your iPhone right now.
Posehn.
Posehn. brianposehn.com.
It's all German and weird and shit with that H. Sorry.
But check him out. If you get a chance to see him live in your town, you will love
It's a great show.
I'm okay.
Yeah, but it's more than okay.
I disagree. You will have a good time.
And Nerd Poker, which is his podcast, which is wonderful, and he does
It's
it.
been going for what, 5-6 years?
We took a little break.
Okay.
We used to do it in a studio,
Yep.
and then I decided to take a break, and I wanted to do it because it's just us playing Dungeons and Dragons, and the real way to play that is at your dining room table with your kid in the other room.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's what we do.
Is he interested at all?
He is.
So are you like
We're slowly
bringing him into the fold?
Yeah, he's aware that we play we play an R-rated show, so but me and Dan Telfer have been talking about my DM, the Dungeon Master on the show. We've been talking about doing a kids version of our show where we have his daughters play because his daughters are interested and around the same age as my kids.
So there's that moment. It's not a sports dad, but you're a D&D dad, and you have to walk that line. I'm excited that you're into this, but I don't want to push you too hard that you don't get into it anymore.
Because when he was real young, I pushed my music on him, and then when he was 5 or 6, he rebelled, which was so early. But he's like, I don't want to listen to heavy metal. I want to listen to John Williams, and I was like, John Williams is awesome, also.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
This is also because of me.
That's right. I gave you that
the only
too.
reason he was aware of that.
I'm not mad at you. That's just another side of daddy.
And we don't have to listen to heavy metal all the time, but now he's back. The other day, he's like, Rush is my favorite band, and I'm like, right on.
Okay, so I've been following you on Instagram. I've been looking at your Instagrams. I love that you got from your wife a tape player, right? A cassette,
I asked for it. Well, that's what I asked for Christmas.
Hell of a
box.
Okay, and you are going back and buying all the old tapes that you had when you were a kid.
Yeah, the whole thing was to find the exact, well, not the exact ones, but to buy
those tapes.
Yeah, but also I'm collecting them almost. I'm trying to find the nicest copies I can find, which isn't always easy. I mean, every once in a while you can find a Super Saver that sat on a Kmart shelf forever, and so it's still in the
packaging,
still in the wrapper. I got a couple of those.
That's a gem.
I got Rat out of the cellar like that.
Out of the cellar. Milton Berle in the video.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I bought the first Rat. I bought the Rat EP. I got Dio, Holy Diver.
Holy Diver.
Rush, Moving Pictures, and Signals I both had on cassette because I had a bunch of other stuff on vinyl back then.
That Moving Pictures Moving pictures, signals, and grace under pressure.
So, but
Those
you
three
think
for
about
us.
moving pictures, okay? I'm going to say this as the song Limelight, all right? Which is all about fame.
Our lives.
Right.
Essentially a little bit about our lives, because there are people who know you, and he's all about how uncomfortable he feels when he's talking.
Well, it's actually Neil
Right.
Peart.
Yeah,
It's
because
Neil
he
Peart.
hates it.
He hates it.
And hated
What'd you think of the
them,
Rush Netflix documentary?
I like that one was great. Yeah.
Pretty unbelievable. The idea, to me, my favorite part about that, Dan, did you see
No.
that? I'm going to recommend it to all of our listeners and whatnot. It is fascinating. Even if you're not like a Rush fan, it is amazing. Just the simplicity and the good fortune they had that the guy who was programming WMMS, which was the home of the Buzzard, Cleveland
Ohio.
rock station, was gone for like a week vacation, and some open-minded woman. They called down, or like, will you play this record? Will you play this record? And she's like, yeah, it sounds pretty good. And she just made the correct decision. No
And
ego.
everyone's like, what's this new Zeppelin song or whatever?
Working Man. And they're like, and suddenly that's all people wanted to hear. It just took one
awesome.
person to be there, and then the door was kicked open for Rush in America, which I just think is
And I will say this, my kids are super obsessed with Welcome to the Jungle, that song
That's
by
great.
Guns N' Roses by GNR. And it pumps up my car like crazy. They love it so much, and they're like louder, and I'm like, yes!
Do you
It
ask
feels
them
so
if
good.
they know where they are?
I say, do you know where you are? And they love when I can imitate his voice. They think that's hilarious. It's super fun.
I love that. Anyway, great thing. And tapes, the quality of the sound, you're okay with it? It's
It's a different thing because I collect vinyl too,
too,
and
yeah.
I still have my CDs. I still like having practical things in my hand, the
me
physical
too.
copy.
Rather than streaming it all, right?
Yeah, well, I stream too. Like I'll buy things because I stay up on new metal too. So
What's your favorite new metal band out right?
there's not a ton that. Visigoth.
Yeah.
I like. They did the theme song for Nerd Poker too.
Nice.
Yeah.
amazing. That's awesome.
yeah.
How
There's
good
a-
is Brendan Small's band? He's amazing.
Well, yeah.
The Metalocalypse
That's-
stuff is
that band,
ridiculous.
Galacticon is one of the best metal records of the last year, the one he did. And
Yeah.
it's crazy that
He's a comedy guy.
but he sold more records than most death metal bands.
It's unbelievable.
Dude, he told me like at concerts they just put up on the big screen the
characters, and then
and they're down underneath just playing, and they're like everyone in the audience. They can look out in the crowd and see them all looking up at the characters, and like if you looked at us, we're like 40-year-old dudes
Yeah.
just down below, and everybody's here for the cartoon.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
genius,
Amazing.
phenomenal.
All right, shall we get into another story?
Yes, let's do it. This was sent in by Maggie Griggs at Maggie Griggs, MAGGIEGR.
Thank you for being
IGS. Thanks,
straightforward.
Maggie Griggs. She's part of one of our loyal citizens at Dumb People Town. I want to say really quick, too, guys, because some people have still asked us, there's links on the Twitter page as well as the Facebook page where you get all of your merch. All of that stuff is there.
Go to
We're gonna-
fluffycrate.com and you can just.
And we're going to have a
look up
couple
Duke
new
Jam.
designs come up. We've talked about doing a deal where we ask everybody what would be your favorite shirt inspired by a story. I believe there'll be a Jan Flato one. Who's Brian is one of the best characters ever to come out of this show.
So imagine
check all that
Logan.
stuff out.
Imagine if Logan Tyndale just started commenting on our Facebook page.
Where we put all the stories.
So
after
we
every
had a
episode.
guy who is like now part of our community, and it's
Yes.
unbelievable.
And I
The
will-
story was about him.
The story's about a guy, and he is now
He
part
got
of the
hip to it?
Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last night he posted a thing saying how we're coming up, I think January 31st is, we're recording it right before then. That's the anniversary of him losing all of his money to that Russian thief. Brian, I'll fill you in off air. And he said, it's coming up. His mom just fell and had a fall. And I said, we're all thinking about her, Jan. So Jan's part of the
Jan's part of the
community.
community.
Yeah,
That's
Dude,
awesome.
welcome.
We're
That's
about
great.
to meet another member, though.
Okay.
Winter Haven.
All right.
Is that his name?
No, that
okay.
would be awesome.
I'm just kidding.
Is this like the one town in Game of Thrones that like doesn't don't have
Winterfell.
Winter Haven?
Yeah. Deputies in Polk County say they arrested 30 people for driving drunk last month.
I thought it was like in one night.
I know, I
That's
did
like
too
a-
when I
a
was reading it.
flash
'cause
mob.
You never
Gonna be the
know.
best story
Yeah,
ever.
no. In Dumb People Time, you never know how the sentence is
Right,
going to end.
right.
It takes
Have
a
you-
turn.
okay,
They
so-
closed at a bar and they were all going to this dude's house. We're all going to Craig's.
Everybody put on Caravan while we drive there. Hey, come in, Rubber Ducky.
Brian, you've performed at the Helium in Buffalo, have you not? Done
Yes.
that? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So the bars in Buffalo stay open till 4.
Yeah.
There is no Uber in Buffalo.
Well, there's that bar right next door, which is great. I've
It's a great
gotten
bar.
hammered like right.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
So many good bars in that area.
But Uber tried to make it in Buffalo and it failed because people would
just
rather
like,
drive drunk.
Fuck it, I'll drive drunk. And I feel like there's a point.
When did that happen? Because I used Uber there.
Oh,
This
good.
is
They
years
came
ago.
back?
It came back. It came back. It was
good.
gone. Like 3 years ago, it was gone. It couldn't survive there. And
it was
we used to say, like,
Uber got killed by a drunk driver. I felt like everyone in Buffalo at 3 a.m. is driving drunk, so they're all like swerving at the same time, and it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's
It all
like
works.
fishing in a hatchery. The cops are like, which one do you want to get?
Plus on the ice, it's kind of better to be hammered if
Yeah,
you're driving
exactly.
on the ice, right? If you're driving in the snow, you should be a little drunk.
Yeah, you'll be too
Not
tense.
drunk,
otherwise.
but a little
Right.
buzzed.
Yeah,
Like,
something-
get a nice buzz
There's got to be a
going.
reason you're making that bad decision.
Yeah. Put a little
One-
whiskey in with your coffee. And
One of those arrests made of
Baileys.
the 30 was probably the easiest one the cops will ever make.
Okay, here we go.
It was New Year's Eve when a man called 911 to report a drunk driver. Himself. I'm drunk. I don't know where I'm at. The caller told the 911 dispatcher, I'm just drunk driving all night. The Polk County Sheriff's Office released a recording of the call Friday. The man said on the phone, his name was Michael Lester of Winter Haven, and he was looking for police, but had a little trouble with his location when the dispatcher asked. He said, I don't know. I'm too drunk. We're going to play 41.
Too drunk to operate a phone that has GPS.
I'm going to show you a picture of this guy before we play a little recording of him calling in. I'm not trying to make people's like help them for what they're searching for out there, but this is Logan's dad. Look at
this is a guy who wears his sunglasses on the top of his head
This
all
is
the
the guy
time.
who
all the
wears
time.
NBA jerseys over white T-shirts.
And is that a selfie? Looks like
Oh,
his
yes,
arms extended.
100% a selfie.
But he's trying to hide it a little bit,
Backyard
right?
selfie.
Backyard.
And you know what else?
Backyard
Maybe you guys can
selfie.
pick on this. He's doing the classic thing where he's looking at the phone rather than the lens.
Yeah, for sure.
He wants to see
How
the
the
photo.
fuck did I?
How do you-
Where's my face?
Where's my face?
This is going on a job application. I better turn my hat around backwards so people don't think I'm being
Sunglasses.
disrespectful.
By the way, you can see that photo at the Dumb People Town Facebook
Yes, you
page.
can.
Join the page. Love it.
Okay, here we go. Ready to hear some of this?
I'm so ready.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
All over Winter Haven.
That's his address.
What's the address of your
Whatever,
emergency
whatever.
right now? Sir? Hello?
I don't know.
I just gave up.
Okay, what is it you're trying to report, sir?
I was just drunk driving.
You're drunk driving right now?
Yeah, all
I
night.
was just.
Okay, well, can you
I'm
pull up?
actually right in front of the police department right now.
He's
Okay, can
there.
you pull over somewhere so an
But they
officer...
won't.
Did he just
Where are
burp?
you
He
right
just
now?
burped.
I don't know. I'm too drunk.
Okay, well, you need to pull over.
I don't know.
Can you pull over for me?
I don't know.
Can you pull over for me so we're going to get an officer to make contact with you? I'm showing that you're near 142nd Street Northwest. Can you look around and see for a sign? What color is your
Yeah, that's right past the police department, but no one's there, so.
It goes on
Wait,
for
this-
2 more minutes.
This dude is unbelievable. I love that he's like, I don't know, man.
Right. I
Like
like-
he's resigned to the fact, like, this is just how life is,
He's
man.
doing the right thing.
He is doing that's the other thing.
Sort of. He's halfway.
Because he's not stopping driving.
Right.
He's still
That's
driving.
a great motto for Dumb People Town. Doing the right thing, sort of.
Dumb people town.
Because he is right. Like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this.
Well, but
right,
the thing
man.
is, so all he's doing basically is providing an opportunity for us to maybe hear him run into somebody.
Right.
That's what he's doing by being on the phone.
In the recording, the dispatcher continues to ask him, like I said, guys, that goes on for over 2 more minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the patience of her. She's a pro doing her job.
Saying.
I just can tell how much she hates white people. That thing, and with good reason.
In the
This guy's
recording, the
like-
dispatcher continues to ask him to pull over and tries to get more information on him. The caller tells her he's driving on the wrong side of the road in his red 150 forward. Somewhere near a Publix, which
Could
is
have called that.
well, yeah, somewhere near a Publix, which is anywhere in
Ask
Florida.
me to guess what car vehicle he was
Somewhere
driving.
near a Publix.
I
like
might
you
have
said.
even said red.
Somewhere near a Publix, it literally is everywhere.
Everywhere in Florida.
Yes.
You've just described the entire state of Florida.
And
Everything in Florida
He
is somewhere near a
continues to
Publix.
wonder to the dispatcher where the police are.
Yeah.
Where are the police?
I pulled up and I guess they're not there.
I'm not going to make it that easy. Yeah. Quote, then he says to her out of nowhere, quote, I think I'm going to go get some to eat. They can catch up with me. Like a friend leaving the bar while everybody else is still
later.
like,
You guys want anything? To ask them if they want anything.
I don't know.
eventually.
I want to be at Steak and Shake. They know where to find it.
Which one, sir?
Which,
You know which one.
I don't know.
It's the one with
Go
the
where
steak.
I'm respected. Eventually, he becomes more belligerent, refusing to give his name and objecting to the dispatcher's repeated pleas to pull over. He says to her, you don't need to tell me what to do, and then hangs up. You called us.
So is he getting drunker as he's on the phone?
I don't know.
You don't need to tell me what to do.
Although,
Don't
please
lecture me.
Please tell me what to do right now because I'm drunk and I don't know what to
Although I'm calling you to be like, what should I do?
You do and you don't.
Do you think he got in a fight with someone he loves who said, yeah, why don't you just go out and get arrested? And then he got drunk and was like, I can get arrested if I want to get arrested.
I love it. You know he's parsing the phrase. You don't need to tell me what to do. I want you to tell
Right,
me
but
what
you
to
don't
do.
need
You
to.
don't
You don't need to
to.
tell
Yeah.
me.
That was actually the 5th time he'd said that day.
Yes.
He said it to his mom that morning,
Said it to his foreman.
boss,
Yep.
his wife,
To the dog.
his ex-wife,
Yep.
To Logan Tyndall's
Girlfriend's kid.
the bartender.
The bartender's
Hey,
kid.
man,
leave.
Hey man, why don't you not be so loud at the end of the bar? You need to tell me.
Said it to
what
the guy in the urinal next to him. You don't need to tell me what to
I
do.
didn't say anything.
Nobody's-
I didn't
It's
say
implied
anything.
what we do in here. Yeah, but you don't need to tell me. I know, man.
Sir, I'm on
Okay.
this. I'm on this side.
Yep, all right.
I'm on this side.
Okay, I'll see you then. You're not going to wash your. Why would you?
You're
All right, see ya.
literally talking to nobody. I'm over here.
I'm on the other side.
Yeah, he probably did say it to a door at one point. He didn't tell me what to do.
So he is. He's,
Condescend me,
Yeah.
mother.
this guy's so dumb. He's not someone's stepfather. He's just
Exactly.
a boyfriend of someone's mom.
Deputies managed to track down the pickup truck. They say Lester admitted to having several beers. He also only slept 4 hours in the past 4 days, and that he had swallowed meth earlier. So he was very talkative when they caught up. Guys, you don't need to tell me what to say.
Let me
tell you
start
what
telling you some things.
Sir, you should not
Swallowed meth.
I don't know if that's the.
That sounds like
I
that's
know.
not what he meant to do.
It also sounds like a great band name.
swallowed meth.
yeah.
But that isn't how you do meth, right? You don't swallow.
I don't know.
Generally.
It might be.
think you
Maybe
do
he was
that.
like, I'm my own drug mule. Where are you going? You don't have to tell me.
I don't know.
All over Winter Garden. That's where I'm
Where's the
going.
police station?
The cops, after they arrested them, put up a post on their Twitter or Facebook
Yep.
about all of this.
Yep.
This is where the cops also become members of Dumb People Town.
Okay.
Quote, DUI is not a laughing matter. They offered a somewhat tongue-in-cheek...
Meaning, guess what? Here comes a story that we think is really funny.
You're right.
Yes.
DUI is not a laughing matter. However,
Here comes the comedy.
in this particular incident, don't you love when you meet someone after a show and you can feel the joke coming that they think you're gonna
They
love?
think you're gonna love.
Yes, and you're also like, we're 50-50 that this is going to be racist.
Yeah.
50-50 every time.
And have you ever walked away going, that is the best joke I've ever heard?
No.
Rare. It's rare.
So they go, DUI is not a laughing matter. However, in this particular incident, nobody was hurt, so we couldn't help but LOTO. Does anyone want to take a guess what LOTO means?
Is it like YOLO? Is it one of those types of like
Yes.
acronyms?
Yes.
Laugh out loud.
No.
Laugh out.
Laugh.
LOTO.
Laugh out.
Let other.
No.
T-shirt out. Laugh out. T-shirt
T-shirt
out. Laugh
Here it is. It's worse.
Laugh,
Everything you guys have said is better than what
laugh
it
out.
is.
By the way, laugh out, t-shirt out sounds like a walk for dyslexia. Like laugh
Leave out the. Oh, I'm close.
No, you're
Dan.
not. It's worse than you guys are being
Okay, go.
too good at this.
Love.
It is laugh our tasers off. And they literally wrote, we couldn't help but Loto, parentheses, that means laughed our tasers off, end parentheses.
I love that they're using an instrument that some police, not all, but some police use to brutalize people and sometimes racially.
It's part of their bit.
That is like, we laughed our tasers off.
I know.
And they let us in on like a thing that they say.
Yes, like that's in language.
We're all friends now, so
right.
Exactly.
If you're on the cops' Facebook page at all,
yeah, that's true.
like think about how little time you have to like jump on social media, but you're like, let me see what the police are up to.
Your wife is like, Brian, can you please get in here and help out? One more minute, honey. I'm just on the police Facebook page.
I'm on the Glendale police. I'm laughing my tasers off.
The Sheboygan scanner on Twitter is great.
I'm sure.
I thought you meant if you literally are highlighted as one of the people on the cops' Facebook page, it's never like unless you're in a fun run or giving them a check.
It's not good. No,
It's
you don't
never
want
not
to
a
be
cop.
But you're not even trolling the page. No one's checking it out.
It's true. I've always said too, like if your last name is one of the segments in the running line at the bottom of ESPN, it has not gone well.
Oh, no, it is
like
not
when
good.
it just says
You're on
Tiger, you're
track.
like, oh
No. If your name comes up on the crawl on
yeah, that's what
ESPN,
I would say.
And it doesn't give like your stats right after it,
You know,
did something
allegations were
Yeah.
leveled at you.
Yes, something horrible happened.
The PC, Polk County Sheriff's Office, PCSO, post added, at least Michael wasn't involved in a crash and lived to see another day, which is what I also feel like he probably says to himself every morning.
By the way,
Live to
I
see.
would do the first half of that,
At least
and I would not include the rest of it in the at least.
Yeah, like, so keep at it.
I would be like, at least he wasn't involved in a crash.
Period.
Here's the bad news. He gets to live to see another.
Bad news for definitely some people. I also wish we could hear the dumb people townies that were screaming, laughed our tasers off. You know, there's at least 20 out there in their cubicle or on their way home or doing something in their house that were like.
By the way, that may be a new T-shirt. Lodo.
Oh, my God.
Dumb People Town Lodo.
laughed our tasers off.
Laughed our tasers off. There we go.
Jeez.
Do we know what he's in jail or no?
Yeah, he's in jail.
Oh, he's got to be in jail.
He's
Look,
jailed.
but as Brian said, he kind of did the right thing in calling the cops. Like, at least he let them know that he was out there doing something not right.
Yeah.
So
He just didn't stop doing the thing that's not right.
and then got belligerent with the woman who was like
Trying to get her.
I'm right out here, man.
Yeah, where are you?
Quit talking
You know how
to
you
me.
say, like, his heart was
I've
in the right
circled
place?
your place 6 times.
And I'm not pulling in till somebody waves me over.
That's right.
You know when people say, like, his heart was in the right place? It doesn't work. His
This is a moment.
His self-hatred was in his like lack of worth was
I
in
want
the
to
right
Google
place.
swallow meth and see what that does to you. Does that make you just want to confess things? I wonder what.
Maybe it's like a truth serum of
I
sorts.
wanna see.
All right,
Yeah.
there you go. All right, you check it out in the break. We'll take one more break. When we're coming up, last story. Dan,
Yes.
give us a little tease, a little taste.
Just a random act of dumbness.
I love it.
Yes.
There's no explanation of why this happened, but there's fun details about
I
it.
love it. Random act of dumbness. Brian Posehn is with us. Dumb People Town. Stay here.
Hey there, Adam Conover here. Humans Who Make Games is my podcast where I sit down with the people who created some of your favorite video games and have the kind of long-form personal conversation we so rarely get to hear. We talk about how they got into the industry, what their favorite games were growing up, and what it's like working in the trenches of this century's greatest new art form. This season, we've got a whole batch of new interviews for you. I talked to Kim Swift from Portal, Alex Preston from Hyperlight Drifter, Anna McGill from Control, and Alex Beecham from the game Outer Wilds. Whether you love video games or you just love learning more about other artists' creative process, I can guarantee you're going to love this podcast. So, you can get Season 2 of Humans Who Make Games wherever you get your podcasts. Take a listen.
All right, guys, welcome back to Dumb People Town with the great Brian Posehn. Follow him on Twitter. Follow him on the Instagrams, right? You're on the Instagrams?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that's
It's mostly pictures of my dog.
And cassettes.
And your tapes.
And cassettes
And the
that
tapes.
I purchased.
I do. If you're a music person,
I like
you love
both those things.
and you're a great dog
How do you
lover,
remember
too.
all the ones you had? Or did you just... Are you going,
That's
if
one
you
of my
remember
things. I mean, I've been nerdy about a lot
Yeah.
of things, but music is
I know that, but I mean, do you feel like you remember your whole
I
catalog?
do. Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
I might
cool.
not get all of it,
Right.
but
If you had someone single, are you trying to find the single?
Started off. No.
Okay.
Cause singles? I never did that.
Okay.
Singles or single cassettes?
Yeah. I think I had the Ugly Kid Joe single of Cats in the Cradle.
Okay, so
that'll tell you a lot about me if you read
I was
into
telling
it.
my kids because my daughter is now. I have an older daughter who's older than your kids. So my oldest daughter is 12, and I said, "Okay, Days. When I was 14, me and Uncle Jason and I were painting houses. We painted a house somewhere between like 8th grade and 9th grade. We were with a guy who was like a 17-year-old senior, a guy we knew through like youth group and whatnot. And he had us and we were just like painting houses. And I was like, we listened to, and we were driving, we heard Fall on Me by R.E.M. And I was like, we had Life's Rich Pageant on tape, and we listened to it that summer so much. And this is one thing that not the tape broke, that all the words wore off both sides, so you didn't know. You didn't know what was side one or was side two. That's how much we listened to it.
I used to have to put like Scotch tape over it so it would stay on.
That's right.
Yeah, because you would rub them off.
You would
all
rub
the
it
time,
off.
so,
And we also had to do some splice jobs with tape of the actual tape that broke.
Oh, right.
Because we had remember that? And some of that was really
fun to collect those things again. All right. Daniel, we got one more story.
Yes, we do.
By the way, eating meth just makes you sick. That's all. I just read a little thing about it.
Does it even fuck you up? Does it even get you high?
It doesn't. It doesn't. It just makes you very ill. And
so you're saying he wasn't smart?
I'm saying this guy, in shocking fashion, did a dumb thing.
It just means that when you shit teeth.
Yeah,
exactly. Sent in by Kevin.OneWallCinema at One Wall Cinema. I don't know what that is.
I have no idea what that is.
Really cool movie theater
Whatever it is. Yeah, it's a One Wall Cinema right in the middle.
No, that's what he tells women to get him back to his house.
One Wall Cinema.
One Wall Cinema.
I'd go hang with him then.
Yeah, I would.
Sandwich Police. That's the town. There's a Sandwich, Illinois, but that's not where we're at.
But what if there was a Sandwich Police? Like they were just...
Yeah, we have Sandwich Artists.
Someone come and be like, that's way too much mayo.
Too much mayo.
Or they just go to different sandwich places. They're over at Jimmy John's all the time. Always do.
Who's that over there? That's Sandwich Police.
Do you know what made the Arch Deluxe at McDonald's such a big deal? Is they put mayo on the burger. Mayo on the burger.
I'll eat a mayo burger. Wouldn't do you?
I don't know if you've
that
done
was
that.
on the old McDLT. Do you remember that thing? Or are you too old?
That's a
too
deep
young?
cut.
Yeah,
That's a deep cut.
that is a deep cut.
Yeah.
Remember McDLT.
Go back to the time of the old Rush Signals tape.
Yeah, well, it was. It was cool side. Keep the cool side
cool, the hot side hot, and the cool side
So
cool.
you had the
Mayo and
the
the
bun
McDLT.
with the lettuce and the tomato and then the mayo.
Mayo, right.
Yeah, and then
On
the
one
other
side.
side,
Yeah, the hot
and then
side.
you put it together and make your sandwich.
That's right.
And people hated it because it's too much work.
Yeah,
to
that's
put
right.
your sandwich together.
Yeah,
like I'm already at McDonald's to not have to
want me
fucking
to
put
do
my
all the
burger
work?
together.
And McDonald's probably was like, we save 17 cents of labor time each hour. Like they
McDLT.
made them millions on that.
Of course I remember the McDLT.
Sandwich police are investigating a report that a man hurled a cup of clam chowder at a stranger's vehicle in South Sandwich. South Sandwich is where they don't fuck around down there.
Sandwich, where is it? Sandwich, where's
Sandwich,
Sandwich?
Illinois?
No, that's right. I don't know.
New
Oh,
England?
no, it is New England because it's Cape News. This is from Cape News.
Yeah, with the clam chowder too.
Yeah,
It's
Clam
not something
chowder
new.
is a
Well,
dead
a
giveaway.
lot of the
It
stories
doesn't
on
happen
brand.
in Oakland.
Yeah, so this is authentic clam
You got
chowder.
chowder, motherfucker.
Don't you throw that chowder at me.
Oaktown represent.
Chowder. It's Marshawn Lynch doing it.
Chowder.
Last Sunday, November 5th, so this is from a little bit ago, a woman pulled her Jeep into the parking lot of I don't know how to say this, Cotuit Road business. They don't say what the business is. At 3:14 p.m.
So this is an afternoon incident.
Broad
daylight.
She told police that as she was pulling in, a man who had been sitting stood up and threw his chowder at her vehicle.
Unprovoked. So this is not about her.
No.
This is a guy who had enough.
I'm telling you now, I picked this story because it's short and I have no clue why any of it happened. And
So
neither does anybody else.
Well,
we haven't even gotten all
we
the way.
can speculate, but like this is a guy who's
What, he sat there and waited for someone to pull in so he could throw his clam chowder at them?
he said,
I dare
before
you to
that-
park there.
That or if I see one more Jeep.
If
Isn't that a ludicrous song?
If I see one more Jeep.
One more Jeep.
I'm gonna throw my chowder.
Yeah.
at you.
He must have also whispered to himself, don't need to tell me what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he's talking to a lot of people that aren't there.
The woman got out of her car and said, "Why did you just do this?" She asked the man.
I hope this is all in an article somewhere.
It is.
like their exchange does not need to be recorded at all.
She
ever.
said, "Why did you just do this? We don't even know each other." Which infers she thinks if you knew me, I might have known why you did this.
All the time.
I can understand.
Stacy's always throwing soup.
Always.
I can understand a chowder
But you
throw
ain't
between
Stacy.
friends.
I spend my life dodging chowder.
Right. And I don't even know you, so why are you on this?
So this is literally just about how well you know a person.
This is a woman who gets on people's nerves.
I'm going to reread it.
We throw chowder at the people we love the most. Now, this is the straight up.
I'm going to reread hers, and then I'll go right into his so you can hear it all together. Why did you just do this? We don't even know each other. He says, "Damn right we don't know each other. This is the best $5 I've ever spent on chowder." If I wish Townies could see Brian's face right now of like,
what? Why? That is, by the way, the only response he could have given. But her saying, "Why?" I don't even like the way she said, "Why did you just do this?"
Right.
Because to me, I don't want to correct her, but it says, "Why did you do that?" It just happened.
Right.
This makes you seem like
We're
it's
still
happening.
in the
We're
moment.
still in it.
Wait.
This whole thing.
Well, I would also say, why did you just do this conversation?
Right.
Because
We
what the hell
don't
are you
even know
talking
each other.
about?
Damn right we don't know each other. This is the best $5 I've ever spent on chowder.
Which, by the way, feels like entirely. Chowder. $5 feels like entirely too much and too little for chowder.
Too little.
To me, it says to me that he spent $5 on other things
Yes.
that were better than what he just
I
did.
think you want the $12 chowder.
Yeah,
you don't
you-
want the $5 chowder.
I'm just throwing it. I'm good with the
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
This is, I need a good
What do you
throwing
want, the
chowder.
5 or the $12 chowder?
He's throwing for all the $5 chowders, the D-level chowders that he's had.
And also, you could read it
This
as
is the best D-level
Right.
chowder.
You could also read it as this is the best $5 I've spent on chowder, which means he spent $5 where it didn't go this well. So he's like, what else could I do to make it feel like this was
Or
worth
he
it?
spent $5 in other scenarios that have gone way better.
Or I'm going to say this. Remember in the wrestling documentary Beyond the Mat? I don't know if you saw it.
Yes, hell
It's a
yeah.
great movie. So Jake the Snake Roberts, like his dissension into a sexual area that at first he's
Started
like,
out with
first
one girl.
I started with one girl. Then I had to bring
second
2
girl.
girls up. Then I brought 3 girls up. Then I would just watch. I'd sit in the corner while
and
they
watch.
would do something. I wasn't even participating anymore. Maybe that's this guy's relationship with food. It started out he was like eating 2 or 5
Just normally.
chowders a day. Then he's like, I'm just going to put the chowder on the table and watch it for a while. Now he
It's like-
only enjoys like food by throwing it at
I
someone.
sent it around the country and had it send me postcards.
People took pictures of it.
People took pictures with my chowder.
I didn't enjoy that as much.
I knew that I had to get back to it. Now my new food
didn't want to
fetish
eat
is
it. I wanted to throw it.
That's
That's
the way I-
$5. That's $5 I've ever spent on
The
chowder.
fact-
Better than eating it, watching it, sending it around the country.
Can't compete.
By the way, and just Brian saying sending around the country, I now think that's a thing. He was so confident about that I'm like, that's got to be a thing. People send their food around the country.
Now, whenever I hear somebody sitting on the ground in a parking lot,
Yeah, that's-
I imagine everything they do is on foot, right?
Sitting on the ground.
He says to her, best $5 I ever spent on chowder. Then he got in his car and drove away.
Wait, how did he have a car?
That's what I'm saying. I pictured a man who does not have a car, but he must have parked, went and sat somewhere in the parking lot
How
and
do you
waited.
think he got the chowder? Because he didn't buy the chowder right there, right?
Right, yeah, but I
He
could
got
see
the
a
chowder.
plastic bag walking where there isn't a sidewalk like in front of a mall.
anyone-
I had him in a car the whole time.
You had him in a car the whole time. Anyone who doesn't believe in evolution, this is literally the playing out of taking your feces and throwing it. You know what I mean? This is it. Only like with a more
Cost you
refined
$5.
clams and potatoes and a cream-based
also,
sauce.
you
And the fact that she was a stranger. Because I spent $5 on chowder and threw it at Chuck, because Chuck's a motherfucker.
Exactly.
You don't know
Yep.
Chuck.
Right.
Chuck's always in my
That's what
shit.
she said. We don't even know each
Chuck
other.
dessert. Chuck had that coming.
But this was even better. A strange woman.
Okay. So but also you have a son, I have a son. Like sometimes he'll do something that I'm like, okay, that's when you hear like someone say to someone, what are you, 8 or what are you, 9?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like you're like, oh, that comes from that because your kid will like
just being
take
an
something,
asshole.
or like take like a thing off a tree and throw it in the street as a car drives by. That's what a little boy does.
He kicked the dog off the bed the other night.
Right,
We're
like
how
hard.
are you
What
even
are you
thinking?
doing?
Like what?
What are you doing?
He loves the dog, and we're like, well, you couldn't really hurt the dog, you asshole.
What
He's
are you
like,
doing?
I just thought of it and I did it.
I just did it, or I didn't think. I just did it.
God damn it.
So maybe this guy was like
He's still
channeling
there.
an inner child.
Yeah.
He's
Child
like a
at
little
heart
boy.
and brain.
I'm now hearing him say it for the first time in his brain. Like he's saying, I can't believe this is the best $5 I've ever spent in my entire life. You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
more of a declaration.
that, like I've never thrown a cup. Kind of what building on what Brian said. Kind of like I've thrown chowder at people I know, but I didn't realize this was going to be so fulfilling. I'm just going to get in my car and start driving.
Because it is probably, if that's what you were going for, the comedic gold of the look on her face when she has no clue why you threw chowder at her. It's almost like a jackass
It
sort
would
of
be
thing.
better than throwing it at your mom or your friend.
We used to do this. We used to talk about this. We would be sitting in giant lecture halls at Michigan. I would sit in
in libraries.
Or libraries or
the law library, huge.
No, I'm
I
talking
see.
about sitting in a lecture hall next to my buddy Matt Capista, and he'd be drinking a little soda or water or something like that. He was like, if I just threw this right now at the professor, it would change everybody's life. Like this would be the thing we would all talk
where
about
did that come
forever.
from? Why did that
Why did he
happen?
do that? What does it mean?
We really have a hard time.
Yeah.
Humans have a very hard time with randomness. It's
Right.
why we try to ascribe everything was for a reason.
Yeah, it's God
we try
happens for a reason.
God works in mysterious way. I don't believe in God. This guy was going to just pick up a thing for the fuck
This
of it
is a
and throw it.
total, as you described, a random act of dumbness.
Of dumbness.
Yes, a
And,
random
and
act.
it must have felt so liberating for him to be like, I'm going to throw this chowder. And then he just chucked it.
You know,
and he was
because
like,
we report the news of Dumb People Town.
Yes.
That's what we're doing here. But if we had a newspaper, this would be like at 3:14 on Tuesday. You'd just be like, man threw chowder. Like that would
Man
be the
throws
news
chowder.
blotter at
Well,
Dumb People Town.
I don't think what he did was even that dumb. I think the dumbest part of the story was the woman go, "You don't know me." That's me.
The man got in his car and drove away. The woman managed to take down the man's license plate number,
Yep.
which she gave to police. Based on the license plate information, no shit,
Yeah.
police learned the same man was being sought in Mashpee and New Bedford in connection with road rage incidents.
Of course.
So maybe she cut him off and he waited for
Yeah,
her.
but how did he get there so fast?
Yeah, and ahead of her. Police said that they've identified the car that the man left in, but
I
no
think
one
he was being proactive.
It's like,
she's for the next time.
she's gonna cut me off at some point.
You don't even know me. I do.
I do.
I know
what
you.
kind.
I know you.
your
I know what
type.
you're
I
all
saw
about.
you. This is for all the people you're gonna cut off in the next one.
For every Jeep that's ever slowed down in front
Pay
of
for.
Here's what I love too. Dumb People Town cops. Police
Throw it forward.
Police said they have identified the car that the man left in, but no one has been charged with anything at this point. The case remains under investigation.
Every
Cops,
day.
How hard would it be to put this together? Is this the guy?
Yeah.
Yep, that's the
That's
guy.
the guy.
So I'm in a police lineup. I don't know. Can I see him with a spoon or some oyster crackers? That's him. That's him.
I'm not convinced. Put it in the cold cases file.
Leave it. If it's a pattern, we'll dig into it.
The
but-
chief's gonna shoot it down.
That's right.
Put it in the cold
This case is
cases.
cold. This case is
want
colder than the chowder on her car.
I want Bill Curtis to be talking about this case.
Investigative
Clam
report.
Chowder Bandit.
You need to do in the Clam Chowder Bandit.
That's very good.
That was
Thank
good.
you. There's a new. Were you telling me about this?
Yeah,
This new.
It's
thing.
they called it a machine. I don't know why you wouldn't call it a program. I don't really know, but you can put Nick Cage in every movie.
So if I wanted Nick Cage
I
in
almost should
in
happen.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, boom, I can
there,
do it.
you can see it.
Nick Cage in you saying the line.
I saw a cover-
You the man now, dog.
I saw a cover
Mighty
of
Forrester.
Face Off, and both pictures were Nick Cage.
Wait, so both were Nick Cage.
Yeah.
I would do that in a split second. It's interesting, and I'm so happy that we have it. Nick Cage, to explain this to us, because we sent it out there, sent
Yes.
the bat signal out to him, to explain how this whole thing works, and he left us a voicemail. Check it out.
You have one new voice message.
Hey, boys, what's going on? Yeah, Nick Cage here. Look, I've got a business venture. I got a verbal Kickstarter I want to throw out to you guys. So I know your show is listened to by thousands of venture capitalists. So here's the deal. I make a lot of movies, and people are always asking me, Nick Cage, how can I see your movies? And I'm like, with your fucking eyes, dumb shit. And they're like, no, I need a physical space where I can see it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you know what? I probably should set up some sort of venue where people can see my movies. And by people, I mean the people of Croatia, because that's where most people who are currently watching my movies live. So I'm going to build a chain of movie theaters in Croatia. They're called Get in the Cage, because they're watching Nick Cage's movies, and we're also going to lock you inside. So it's going to be a literal cage where you're watching Cage. So it's just a real simple Kickstarter. I need $45 million to make this happen. I feel like this is probably no big deal for your listeners, all those VCs, those Silicon Valley jackasses who are listening to this bullshit. So, yeah, hit me up at I don't know, some website, my Facebook, no, I don't know. You leave a message here for the Sklars, because, you know, you can make it happen, and get in the cage is what the commercial will probably say. Out.
Okay.
Somehow I'm now more confused than I was before.
I hope he realizes he won't get money from movies that have been made.
No, this is just a thing to put him in there. That's
He's not going to buy more skulls.
I want to put Nick Cage now in Valley Girl.
Yes! Current day Nick Cage. How different is that movie?
Play the same part.
I want to put
shirt
Nick
off
Cage
at the beach.
in Con Air as Malkovich's role.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. Just start moving him on it. Start moving him all around. I love it. Hey guys, what a fantastic episode of Dumb People Town. Brian Posehn again. Check him out, BrianPosehn.com.
That was fun. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for doing it. Nerd Poker, check that out and follow him on Twitter and Instagram. He is fantastic. Follow Daniel Van Kirk.
At Daniel Van Kirk.
Daniel Van Kirk. Go to the Facebook page, Dumb People Town. Hey, we only have about, I want to say like 50 or 60 tickets left.
That's assuming.
For, I don't know, maybe. Oh yeah. That's
this might drop in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
we also need to mention that our Poop Doc is in theaters or on video on demand. It's called Poop Talk. It is a ridiculous romp through pooping.
Yes.
And
why is this something that everybody does, but people don't talk about? We need
if
to talk
you want to
about
support
I can't
us,
see it myself.
I'd say if you want to support us, check this movie out for sure. And oh shit, we got to get back to work.
It's a good show.